Hey guys, I'm Lenny. It's time for another Lenny's review. I apologize for the webcam. Still the same one, so my words are going to be lagging and my mouth will be speaking different things. I haven't really had much time to get a new webcam. I'll just say this briefly. I've been very busy with a lot of stuff. I've been having requests and people asking me, oh, when's book 2 coming up and stuff like that. Well, I'm going to do it today, but I just wanted you guys to know that we're selling our house and I'm going to a different university. So a lot of change is taking place in my life. So that's why I've been really kind of slow on the uptake of putting up a new video, and money's been kind of tight, so I haven't really been able to throw it out to get a new webcam. But hopefully for the third book, I'll have an updated webcam, and you guys won't have to be so annoyed with me lagging. Anyway, second book of the Wheel of Time, The Great Hunt. It's not as big as The Eye of the World. Well, about close to the same size. Still has a glossary, like The Eye of the World. All the Wheel of Time books have a glossary, and each book, or each new book that's out, the glossary is either added to it or it's updated, which I like a lot. Well, with The Great Hunt, the prologue, if y'all remember my Eye of the World video, I went into really in-depth in the prologue. The prologue for The Great Hunt, it's a lot longer than the prologue in Eye of the World. It's not as, I don't want to use the phrase or term beautifully written as Eye of the World. I like the Eye of the World prologue a little bit better. But it's definitely, in a way, more interesting, because you get to see a brand new character, I guess a villain. It's a dark friend, and as you'll find out in the prologue, I guess I'll throw you guys a little spoiler. Normally I don't really do spoilers in my videos, but he is a White Cloak questioner, that is the dark friend, which is very ironic, because, White Cloaks are so fanatical, and they, follow the light, etc., and yet he's a dark friend. You'll find that a lot with the White Cloaks. There's probably more dark friends in the White Cloak organization than there are anywhere else. I guess I think it's a good hiding place. But it's really interesting because Robert Jordan gives you an inside look at the Dark Friends. An inside, behind the scenes, if you will. How they operate, what they're like. Very creepy guys, all of them. They turn on each other more than anything. And, you see a few other interesting things, like, for example, there's a guy that's dressed up as a Shinaran. The character is looking around, and he'll even see a few Aes Sedai at this meeting, which confirms that, there is Black Aja. And it's interesting how Robert Jordan does that, because at the start of the book, normally you have the main characters in a story find out about this deep dark secret, or about, like, an order of wizards being corrupt, and they normally find out about it by being screwed over. Well, no, Robert Jordan pretty much lets you know from behind the scenes, which I found an interesting way to do. Ironically, The Great Hunt it normally always happens after the first book takes off, and, at first it has better sales ratings than Eye of the World, because, a lot of people, Eye of the World just came out, it was something new, and not many people knew about it. And as Eye of the World grew popular, they all wanted the second book. So by the time the second book came out, which was about a year later, a little under a year, Robert Jordan was able to write them a lot quicker back in those days. He popped a book out every year. So Great Hunt just sold a lot of copies. So, it's interesting how the second book was more popular than the first. There's a lot more Aes Sedai in this book. In the first book, you only get, you see Moraine, and then you see Elida. And Elida's from the Red Aja, and she's a real bitch. So, basically, to me, you don't really get a good sense on how Aes Sedai really are, because you're only looking through this one window, and that's only Moraine. But in this book, you see a lot more Aes Sedai. You get to see the Amerlin Seat, which is the leader of the Aes Sedai. Technically, the most powerful woman in the world. Politically. And also, if you think about it, she's pretty strong with the power, too. But, and she's a very interesting character. You learn a little bit about Moraine. and the Amerlin seat. It really there's a few more chapters with Moraine's point of view, which I like because when it's from the character's point of view, you get inside their head, and so you really get to see how Moraine is, what she's thinking, how she's acting. Moraine to me is probably one of my favorite characters. So the second book, if you all love Moraine, this book is going to be a great enjoyment to you because she's in it a lot more. Also, y'all know because I'm assuming y'all finished the first book. Padain Fain. This one messed up, creepy little guy. I mean, he's just in the first book when he got into Faldera. Just picturing Golem climbing up the wall. Just can't picture anything else besides that. He's like Golem, but much more. He's like Golem, but Freddy Krueger. And that statement not make sense to you guys, but when you finish this book, you'll understand. He's been, I guess, murdered. He had the evil from Shadow Logoth, and also the Dark One tampered with him. And both those evils are inside his body. Okay, I'm not sure if y'all understand that or have figured that out yet, but he has the evil of the Dark One and the Shadow Logoth evil. And they're two separate evils. What happened to Shadow Logoth was not because of the Dark One. I guess it was just so evil and so much hatred in one place, it just kind of formed into a physical essence, and it had Shadow Logoth going around, the black ooze, not Machin Shin, that's in the ways. I'm having a mind block. But anyway, y'all get the point, is that Padain Fain is basically like a hybrid, if you will. He has both evils in him, and so it makes him really freaking crazy. In this book, the characters really become their own. In the first book, Perrin and Egwene kind of got separated. Matt and Rand and Tom got separated. Then you had Moraine, Uneven Land, into three groups. Well, this book goes back to kind of that same kind of storytelling, which can get frustrating at times in this whole series because throughout the series, you have like 3 or 4 storylines going on at once in the book. And so sometimes when you're really interested in this particular storyline, the chapter ends, you'll go back to, let's say, Nynaeve. And I'm like, no, I want to go back to Rand. So if you guys are like me, it can be frustrating at times. But also, it can be nice, if you're particularly tired of something, and then it switches. It's kind of like popping in a new movie, every hour or something like that. So it can be really refreshing, and I think that's one reason why the series has done so well. Because if you can't relate to a particular storyline that's going on or a particular character, you have choices of like 4 or 5. You can choose. It's literally like going to like a buffet and choosing all different sorts of food. Y'all know I don't give spoilers in my videos, so I don't really want to go too much into the Great Hunt because I have some friends on YouTube that have already read the series, but then I have some other friends that are currently in the process of reading book 2. And they're going to watch this video, so I don't want to spoil anything, but I know I have some fans out there that like my videos, so if you guys want me to make like a spoiler video where I will talk about a particular book that you request, I'll talk about my theories, I'll explain any questions you might have. I've read the series 4 times through, all the way. I've been reading the series for over 10 years. I have all the, that's my bookshelf over there, I'm not sure if you can see it. I have all the books on CD, and I've listened to all the books on CD twice. So technically I've read the series 6 times. I'm kind of crazy when it comes to Wolf Time. I'm very obsessive. I probably like it on a very unhealthy level. So anyway, I don't consider myself a scholar expert by any means, but I would definitely consider myself a guru. I think I know more than the average person about Wheel of Time, so if y'all have any questions or just want me to do a video and discuss any books or anything, I will do it. Just simply request it. But I don't want to spoil it too much. But the last book, I'll do a little recap. You saw 2 of the Forsaken and Eye of the World. And, it was Bathamel and Agenor, I believe. And, of course, you know, at the end of the Eye of the World, it was just kind of, to me, it got so awesome and so intense, and then it just ended really quickly. And I think Robert Jordan did that on purpose, because it would make his next book sell quite a bit. You know, you had the Green Man that, you know, he died. He took out one of the Forsaken, though, but he did die. You all know that pretty much Rand can channel now. If you don't, you need to reread the book. It's pretty obvious that Rand is the center point, but at the same time, you can kind of tell that Robert Jordan is setting up the other characters to play important roles as well. It's not just one ideal hero. It's going to be really almost kind of like the Fellowship in Lord of the Rings, but on a greater scale. Each role they play is going to have a lot bigger impact. In the second book of The Great Hunt, I will tell you guys this, if y'all are into battles like I am. Huge battle at the end. We're talking on the battle of several hundreds, if not 1,000 or 2. So you will definitely enjoy that. I also recommend y'all getting the CDs if you can. That's how I know how to pronounce the words pretty well. It's because I've listened to them on CD, and Robert Jordan himself, while he was alive, he previewed the CDs, and he approved of the pronunciations. So if you guys have trouble pronouncing words, get the CDs. They will really help you. Well, I'm nearly out of time here. I don't want to make my video too long, because I don't want YouTube to cut me short. But, love you guys. Hope I didn't bore you too much. And the Dragon Reborn review will come out, hopefully, within... It's going to probably be about a month, because I'll be moving. Anyway, you guys have fun. Take it easy.